Hello everyone, this video walks you through an AP level harmonizing a melody problem from the AP Music Theory 2012 exam. So a few things to note before we start. You will see fermatas in the soprano line. These signal cadences, so you will either put a 1 or a 5 there. That's practically guaranteed. Second, I would like to draw your attention to the chords. Notice that they're not very complex. So again, the things with these problems is not to get very fancy, but instead to do it accurately. So anyway, like any other problem, let's pick which chords can be 1s or 5s. So this is second scale degree, so I'm going to put that as a 5, second scale degree 5, third scale degree 1, third scale degree 1, fifth scale degree, well, that could be a 5 or a 1, but I'm going to put it as a 5 for now. Then sixth scale degree doesn't fit, fifth scale degree 5, seventh scale degree 5, first scale degree 1 doesn't fit, fifth scale degree 5, 5, doesn't fit, 5, 1, 5, 5, 1. Alright. Now let's look back at the chords that we couldn't fit in. So let's start with this one, because this one has a bunch of factors that lead us to the correct answer. So first of all, it's an accidental, so that tells us that it's some kind of secondary dominant. It's sharped, so that leads me to believe that it's the third of the chord, as it's raising the tone. So a third below that would be E, and since an E is a fifth above A, which is the root of the 5 chord, I'm going to assume this is a 5 of 5. Let's go to this chord. Now this chord can be either a 6, or we can make it some kind of predominant. The problem with making it a predominant is that we have this done as a 5 currently, but we could change it to a 1 to make it a predominant instead of a 5, 6, 5. By 5, 6, 5 I mean a 5 chord to a 6 chord to a 5 chord. And I think that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to make this another 1 chord to avoid going from 5 to 6 and then back to 5. So I'm going to make this a 4 since it has the 6th scale degree, and the 4 chord has the 6th scale degree in it. Now let's look at these. So this is another 5. This is another 6th scale degree. And then there's a 4th scale degree. Well, since going from 5 to 4 isn't the best option, let's go to 6 for the 6th scale degree, and then 4 for the 4th scale degree. Cool, so now we have our chords. Let's write out the bass line, which at this point is just the roots of everything. G. Right now we're ignoring some of the rules that we are breaking, such as parallel octaves. Then for the sake of consistency, let's put fermatas over these bass notes as well. Okay, so this is in general what we have right now. So let's add a little bit of spice to make it better counterpoint. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna keep this the same. I might change this to a 5/7 though, just to make it a little bit more interesting. To change the chord so we don't have just 2 5s in a row. Then this chord I'm also going to keep the same. So this measure we only added a 7 to one of the 5s. Now we have the 1 4 5 5 1. I think I'm also going to do a 5/7 here. This is a very common bass movement, and I think it's a good one. Then we go back to this. This is fine too. It looks a little bit weird because they're jumping up into an octave, except because the soprano line is moving by step, I've recently found that that's actually not breaking a voice leading rule. So I'm going to keep that the same. Then I like having this kind of do a like a 4-5-1, almost in the key of 5. So I'm going to keep that bass line the same. And now here's where we need to do the most work, because we ran into parallel octaves here. So it's A A B B G G A A. So that's not so good. Let's think about what we can do here. So we can change the inversion of this chord, or this chord, or we could change this chord entirely, and instead of having a 6 here, we could just change the harmony to be another 4. So, for instance, we could do this, and make this a 1. I think that's what I'm going to do, actually. Then we can make this a 4, which makes this voice reading better since it's not parallel octaves. Then I'm going to make this a 4-6 to a 5-6. This way we don't go back 2 octaves, and then and also that this way we can make the bass line more stepwise. You don't have to use eighth notes, but right now I'm going to, just to make the line look a little bit better. So this is just a way to introduce a passing tone to make these really mirrors of each other. Then we have 5-6. Then we have the 1. This is nice because it's just this rising bass line. And then I'm gonna keep it like this. However, I'm gonna add a 7 to this chord. Again, just to make it a different chord. Also, if you have any questions about any kind of progression, it's always good because you can look back at here to see if it does it. Like, for instance, I was wondering if I could go from 1-4 to 1-6 to 5-6, and it's right here. So we can do it since they did it. So let's check for parallel fifths and parallel octaves. So while you start writing over here, it's important to check how whatever interval, if it's a fifth or an octave, which in this case it's a fifth, was entered from the previous notes. So the soprano moves by step, so it's alright. Then it's a fifth but didn't move, so it's not exactly parallel. Then we're moving up. It's a third, it's in fifth. So oblique motion, so it's alright. Then we go into an octave by contrary motion. Then we jump. That's a third, and then that's an octave. Again, alright because the soprano is moving by step. Then we have an octave contrary motion, soprano moving by step. Then we have a fifth oblique motion, so that's alright. Then we have a third and a sixth and a third. Then we have a fifth, soprano moving by step. And then we have a third and an octave with the soprano moving by step, so it's okay. Alright. Also, something to keep in mind is we should check that if we added a 7 to any of these chords, that we did, or an inversion that we didn't incorrectly double, and that we correctly resolve things. So, an A and an E is not the 7th of a 5-7 chord, an A and a C is not the 7th of a 5-7 chord. Then neither of those are the 7th of the 5-7 chord too. So, as far as resolving, we're looking pretty good. As far as the leading tone goes in the bass line, we resolved that. Now let's look at doubling. So, like, for instance, in this 4-6, we can't have the third twice, but we don't have the third twice right here, so we're fine. Since the third of the 4 chord is B, and we only have one B. So we can assume that the other voices won't have B in it either. Alright, cool. So I think we're good. Let's play it back. Again, we don't have this lecture on the test, but it's always nice to hear what you have written. These first 4 bars are what they provided us with, and then these next 4 bars are what we made. Cool, that sounds good. So, along with doing it, always make sure to check it. And I'll see you guys later. Have a nice night. Bye.